Good evening, sports fans. You are listening to the Fighting News Live. We are live on Facebook. We are live on YouTube. We are bringing you the best in boxing knowledge. On other nights, we bring you the best of MMA, bare knuckle and stuff. But tonight, we're pretty much going to stick to boxing because we have the man himself with us. We have Damon Gonzalez, president of the National Boxing Association, the NBA, and he's got some exciting news that he's going to share with us. We also have Steve O over there on the controls. So if the sound is messed up or if the lights are messed up, you can send them, nasty email messages. Damon,
Yes.
how are you tonight, sir?
Hey guys, how you doing? Good
What's up,
evening.
Damon? Good,
Thank
good.
you. Thank you for having me on tonight.
Yeah,
Really
Thanks for coming
appreciate it.
on.
it's our pleasure. It's our pleasure. Listen, we saw the flyer that you have announced that you are now have rankings for female fighters, and we've spoken a couple of times since, especially since quarantine, about how women's boxing is getting a lot more exposure. There's more fights. There were a couple of very exciting female fights during the quarantine. And we're excited to hear what your news is and how the NBA is going to contribute to this phenomenon.
I mean, it's humbling to be able to present to the boxing world and the boxing public our ideas in the direction we want to head with the NBA. And of course, women's boxing, I have on a personal level as a national boxing writer, as the president of the NBA, I have such a high respect for women boxing and men boxing, and I just love the sport all the way across the board. I don't think in myself that I ever trained myself to try to separate. I've always called a fight and wrote about a fight as I saw it. I have the utmost respect for any athlete that gets in the ring and competes in such a dangerous sport. So with the NBA, we decided that we were, it was time. It was time for us to start and to venture to give the women in boxing the opportunity for our young belt, because again, we're a young belt.
Yeah,
So with the history behind us and what have you, we want to be able to give these opportunities in conjunction to participate in the sport, to do the right thing, and that is make champions. There's some great fighters out there, and hugs to all of them. They're awesome ladies. These ladies, they represent, some of them are just like, I mean, the ones I've interviewed through the years personally the the sports boxing level, on the writing level, just tremendous. Actually, I have a champion coming on at 8 p.m. That's going to be on with us at the Slip Punches show. So again, we're proud of our decision. We're very happy about it.
yeah, it's
Unfortunately,
exciting.
yeah, unfortunately, we're in a sport that people can't sleep at night unless they criticize. And sadly, I don't even care about that. I don't even think about that. I think we all have a right to our opinion, of course, but um it's just when you're guys like us, like you, Matt, and you, Steve, that we wake up with a passion,
Yeah,
and we know what it takes to really, the bell rings, it's time to work, it's time to set up the interview, it's time to shoot the photos, whatever the case may be. There's a lot that goes in. It's tireless sometimes. There's a lot that goes in with that.
yeah,
And again, I'm just very grateful and very proud to be able to be able to open another door with us and in the sport, and we'll just see how it goes.
yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. And I definitely share the respect for the female fighters, and I do think that they are sometimes they're too harshly criticized. But now they're headlining shows. They're headlining major cards, and I think that's the way it should be because they sacrifice and they train and they dedicate themselves the same way that the men do. you talked about you being a journalist and we're journalists also. I mean, some of the stories that I've heard, Ivana Havizin living in her car in Croatia. She fought Clarissa Shields recently with she had a major back injury before. She didn't tell anyone. Nobody knew about it, but she did. And she still got in there with the girl who's considered the best in the world now, and she put up a good fight. I mean, it's they sacrifice, and there's tons of examples like that. So as far as the NBA is concerned, are you looking to have fights here locally in South Florida, or what's the story with that?
Well, we're having talks right now with a promoter here in Florida and actually Orlando. There's a show coming up in Daytona over at the Ocean Arena on the 20th of November, and that's Lank Promotions, which is promoted by Lank Promotions, and Floyd Mayweather Jr. himself is going to be a guest that evening. Right. Some of the stable Mayweather fighters are fighting on that card. So there's been talks. We're right now in negotiation, and hopefully we'll be able to position ourselves to make a champion that night. We're looking forward to it, and if it doesn't work out that night, we're definitely looking forward for future endeavors with any promotion. It's basically what we're trying to do. I spent a lot of time trying to dialogue and conversate the importance of why I believe the sanctioning bodies are so important to prepare yourself for the bigger and better things in your career. Because I always say it's not for everybody. Not everybody, gets that opportunity in the sport. So it's real motivating, and it's nice that there's not a week that goes by. I'm always reaching out to one of our champions that currently hold our titles, and I conversate with them. I dialogue with them. I check up on them. I kind of, how's everything going? How's the family? How's work? It's important to me. It's important to me as the president of the body to make sure that all our champions are doing well. So that's very important to us to make sure that we're able to recognize and know, what's going on inside and outside the ring. Of course, to benefit the fighter always, because that's what it's all about.
Right. And you've got Ava Knight on that show on the 20th.
Yes. Correct? Yes. Ava Knight, she's the main event. I remember, I think it was a year or two ago, I went to StubHub in California, and it was Gervonta Davis versus Hugo, I believe, on Showtime. And I was on the apron shooting that night, and I was sitting down next to Mr. Leonard Ellaby, and we were talking about a couple of issues. Ava came in the ring and she fought that night, and wow, she was electrifying. She's a tough girl. She brings the fight, and it's just very, very exciting. It's very exciting for boxing in general.
She's absolutely an exciting fighter, and she did mixed martial arts too, which it seems more and more of the female boxers are kind of crossing over into MMA. What do you think about that? I mean, I'm sure she has her feet firmly in boxing now, but she did do a couple of fights with Bellator, I believe.
The only thing I could say about this is, I mean, these athletes, they simply are true athletes. They have courage, and for them to make a transition like that, I'm sure there's up and down mixed feelings and how maybe coaches view it, and being able to design a plan to execute that fighter that doesn't have that boxing IQ, that boxing experience. But who are we to say that they don't? You know what I mean? I mean, we don't really know how that fighter trained throughout their life. Only they know. So, at the end of the day, it's courage. It's courage for them to make that transition. We've seen it in many fighters, and you know what? I'll give you a perfect example. Amanda Serrano. I love that fighter to pieces. Are you kidding me? She's the top of the line champion in boxing, one of the top best 5 in the world. She turns around and she fights MMA, and she beats the crap out of the women's in MMA, and she's just a fantastic athlete all the way across the board. So it's again, to me, it's just very exciting.
Yeah, you have your cruiserweight champion also dodging into other sports. Ulysses Monster Diaz.
Yes.
doing it all. If there's a fight, he wants in. Bare knuckle, MMA, boxing, and he's on fire.
Look, for OG older man like me from the Bronx, Ulysses, that guy right there, our champion, that I'm proud he's our NBA champion. That guy right there is a real dog. He's from the block.
Yeah.
He's no old school. That's one of the dudes that you look the other way. You don't mess with him. I'm serious. That's
for sure.
That's the type of man that is. And we're proud. We're so proud of him. And knowing that Mr. David Feldman is giving Ulysses this opportunity to fight in bare knuckle. We seen Nico Hernandez the other day from Kansas City beat the living crap out of somebody in bare knuckle. So it's just amazing across the board that I'll tell you what, if it's an opportunity presents themselves, you got to give it the benefit of the doubt that these guys, they know what they're doing for themselves in their career. So, Ulysses, I'm so happy for him. I'm super psyched about it.
Yeah, he's a great guy. We've had him on the show before. I mean, we've been fans of his for a long time. You know who else did very well? He's fighting his second bare knuckle event is Jared Grants. He was an outstanding amateur here in South Florida. And I think he knocked his opponent down in bare knuckle 6 times or something before they stopped the fight. And he's got a second fight coming up. And it goes to show you that boxing is where it's at,
Oh yeah, that's Junior Gotti, right, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had a video of him, 15,000 views we got there. So it was a popular video.
Yeah, well, it was great for him because he was, he was a good amateur, and then he was saying, am I going to get a professional boxing fight, or am I going to take this bare knuckle fight? And he took the bare knuckle fight, and he won himself a lot of fans. He's fighting on the same card as Ulysses, and that's a couple of weeks that's coming up. That's November 13th or something. Yeah.
Having at the Intercontinental.
I'm gonna have to call Mr. Feldman and have a meeting with him and see if I can maybe present myself as a celebrity bare knuckle. You know what I mean? Because there's somebody else that has a belt out there that owns a belt that I want to beat the living lights out of him in the ring. And that's just another issue in itself we could talk about another time. But I'll tell you what, man, I give them all the credit of the world for doing what they're doing. It's absolutely exciting all the way across the board. And it's combat sports, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. The main thing for me personally, and I'm sure you guys can totally agree to it, is safety. Safety's everything. We just want these athletes to be safe and protect themselves at all times, because it's brutal. All of them, boxing, MMA, UFC, bare knuckle, it's a brutal sport, all the way across the board. So
you know what's interesting, Damon, when what's his name, Suleiman?
Mauricio Suleiman? Yes.
The older Mauricio.
Okay.
When he got the key to Miami.
Oh, Jose
Suleiman.
Okay.
Yes. When he got the key to Miami about 10 years ago.
Okay.
They invited the Fighting News to cover it, and we were there. And I asked him a question, Damon. I said, "What you've done so much for boxing? What do you think that you have done for boxing that you consider yourself? What have you done for boxing? I know what you've done, but what do you think that you've done? The best for boxing?" And he said, "For me, he's like getting." The boxing, the
ropes.
The ropes, getting 4 ropes instead of 3 ropes. He's like, because people used to keep falling out of the ropes and cracking their head open.
Right.
He's like that's a great accomplishment that I fought for, and also getting the gloves, make sure that the gloves were thicker, and making the rounds instead of 20 rounds. You know, he was like, when I was watching boxing back in the day, it was like they fought forever. And you know, he was like, we gotta protect the boxers. So you know, him as well. Greatest life achievement was, you know, trying to protect the boxer, which is, you know, it's good stuff.
I'll tell you, in my early days in Latin box, I had the honor as well to interview Mr. Solomon a couple of times.
Yeah.
But now in this generation, in our day and age, and guys, you know, I make it crystal clear to you. I'm not ashamed to say anything like this. I'm so grateful for my friendship, and clearly I say it, my friendship with Mauricio Solomon from the WBC, Paco from the WBO,
Yeah.
Ed Levine from the IBO, John Dodano, Gilberto Mendoza. These guys that I just mentioned, I think I would use the word mentor. You know, they've been mentors to me. They've been, in their way, giving good feedback, examples, you know, helping me out.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about, because the relationship of respect is everything. And we totally 100% support the other bodies, especially the bigger bodies that are in the sport today. And that's very, to me personally, that's very important to me.
Yeah.
Relationships, you know, to be able to participate in this sport and try everything you can to do things the right way, in conjunction of working with the commissions of each state and the ABC boxing commissions, that we're very happy that we're able to communicate everything under the guidelines of the Muhammad Ali Act. There are younger bodies out there. I want to give a shout out, guys, to a younger body in Texas. It's the ABO. I don't know if you guys know much about the American Boxing Organization, but it's a younger body that I have so much respect for them, because they handle themselves. And it's interesting because you meet so many people in boxing, guys, right? And we do.
Yeah.
You know, they handle themselves so incredibly passionate and respectful. They're always on board with, let's sit down, let's have conference, let's discuss, let's create, you know, and that's what it's all about, man. You know, it's all about just doing the right things at the right time. And
Yeah.
that's why we're very happy with where we're at. You know, I think that, yes, we have a long way to go. Sure, we do. We're still growing, even though the heritage and the history is there. We're still growing, but I'm absolutely proud of it.
Yeah.
What
You
year
should be.
did you
You should
start
be.
the NBA? What year did you start?
2.5 years ago is when I got the MBA from Walter Butch Flansburgh, which is he's the president of the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. Walter Butch Flansburgh and his wife Kathy Flansburgh, on the weekend, next weekend actually, November 6th, 7th, and 8th in St. Petersburg, Florida, will be the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame event. That will be Butch and Kathy's last event as president and COO of the Hall of Fame. They're retiring.
Oh, he's retired.
And
Okay.
yes, and I'm very happy for them. I'm very grateful, you know, that Butch gave me this opportunity some years back, and again, he's still a great person in my life. I go to his house, I sit down with him, we discuss things. I definitely, that's important, because you wanna do it the right way. You
Yeah.
wanna run it the right way, the way it should be run. So I'm the type of person, I leave myself open to that, to be able to make sure that we keep things where they should be. So I'm very happy for them.
Shout out to Florida Boxing Hall of Fame. Couple inductees we know making it this year. Palm Beach Boxing.
Hey, look, Omar Amador from Puerto Rico. Omar, how you doing, my brother? He's listening in, man. He's a great dude, man. Great dude.
Yeah, nice. How you doing?
Dan
Yeah.
Hewitt from the UK. Hey, Dan Hewitt, man. He's a great guy. Actually, 2 days ago, I celebrated my 1 year from going to London, where I got to do a few things. I got to shoot Regis Progress versus Josh Taylor at the
Right.
O2 Arena in front of
Wow.
55,000. And thank you to my dear friend Eddie Hearn. I was able to successfully go out there and do that. And I got to sit down and meet with Dan Hewitt, and Dan Hewitt is just a wonderful, wonderful man. He has a TV show, a boxing TV show, incredible TV show that's broadcast and streamed in the UK, and
Nice.
everybody comes on this show. He just has a wonderful show, and I'm so happy for the man. He's brilliant. He's a great dude, man. And we got to spend time in Texas when we sanctioned Alfonso Lopez the third. He's our world champion at the light heavyweight division. You
Mhm.
know, Dan Hewitt was the broadcasting blow by blow person for that fight card, and I actually was invited over by him. He invited me over ringside, and I got to call a fight with him and another guy there uh,
Nice.
last year. So I had a lot of fun with him. He's a great guy.
Yeah, that's
He's asking you your thoughts on Tyson versus Jones Jr.
Well, I don't think Mike Tyson thinks it's an exhibition. That's just
Yeah.
my opinion. I think he's gonna try to take Roy's head off. But at the same time, guys, I think Roy's aware of that very clearly. And they're two legends, both of them in their own way.
absolutely.
If you want my opinion, I think that since Mike Tyson retired, Roy has been more active as a fighter, which I think is going to be a benefit to him and his body. I think that after the fourth, fifth round, we may see a more tired Mike Tyson, and we're going to see a more electrifying Roy Jones. That's my opinion. I think Roy's going to win the fight by unanimous decision.
Wow.
Yeah, he's just got to stay away from that.
That's it. That's it. But how
Stay
can
away.
hey Matt, how can you expect him to do anything else? You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? That's the legend. That's Roy Jones Jr., man.
He needs to watch the fight against Mayweather versus McGregor. He did the same thing. Sixth round, ding ding. Mayweather was like, "All right, my turn." You know?
Yeah, it's I'll tell you this, there's nothing we can say when it comes to icons like
Yeah.
those two. And for
Yeah.
them to be able to really entertain us with an opportunity to kind of take something that we looked at as, to me, a video game for years.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson matching up with Roy in EA Sports or something, to reality.
Yeah.
Who in their right state of mind that don't love boxing, that has a passion for boxing, is not gonna be excited about that?
Well,
Huh.
that's the whole
Serious.
thing. And
Who's not gonna be excited about that?
when Tyson was coming up and when he won the heavyweight title and in the late '80s and the early '90s, we never missed one of his fights. We'd watch it wherever we could. If we couldn't get a pay-per-view or a stream, whatever, we go out to a bar or something, and
Yeah.
never missed a Mike Tyson fight, man. I just hope, I hope two things. Number one, he just comes out in the towel, instead of a rope. He wears the towel with the cutout, I hope he walks out like that.
Oh
And,
yeah, you
yeah,
expect it,
yeah,
because he ain't gonna walk out with the white tiger. That's for sure. And look, Dan is putting up. Apparently, they can only win by KO or draw.
Oh.
Maybe that's the California unified rules for the exhibition. We
Yeah.
shall see. It's gonna be interesting. So, that's a tough one.
Well, then either Tyson's going to knock him out, or he's going to look foolish trying to knock out Roy Jones. And
Well,
because I mean, he hasn't fought in a long time, and
yeah.
you know,
That's why the first 2 rounds are going to be danger zone. Roy's not going to stand
no,
right in the phone booth with Iron Mike Tyson.
absolutely
I don't
not.
think nobody in their right state of mind will want to do that.
No,
This
No.
was pretty much the baddest man in the planet back in the day. So yeah, it's just going to be exciting.
yeah, absolutely.
I'm excited to see it. So we last time on the show, Damon, we spoke about Teofimo Lopez. How about that fight?
Yes. Hey, real quick, shout out Xavier Porter from Brooklyn Fights, man. That's my dude, Brooklyn, New York. Follow Brooklyn Fights, man. He's a great boxing beat writer. The guy's been in business a lot of years. He's representing New York City, man. He's a great dude, man. Big time in boxing.
Xavier?
We got friends up in Brooklyn too. I went to when I first started teaching in middle school in New York City. Benny Roman, who's a trainer with Cops and Kids, Atlas Cops.
Oh, okay.
His son was in my class, and his son Jason is he does some training, or he's done training over the years. They have a lot of good kids, and then they go on and they or they fight with Sosa, Orellana Sosa crew, and they've got a lot of good fighters. Edgar Berlanga went through that camp. When
Nice.
he was a kid, and
Nice.
Who's Chris Colbert, who's another up and comer. I don't. What's his Instagram handle? And it's Primetime 718.
Right. I saw him fight in the Barclays Center. Actually, the kid got good stuff, But again, it kind of stinks, guys. With COVID-19 and everything, it just shut everything down, and the sport's trying to get back in some level, in some sense, and we gotta be truly grateful. Back to your question, bro.
Yeah.
Look.
There it is.
Look,
Team
man.
Lopez.
Come on, man. I never doubted him. Never doubted him.
Against all odds, Teofimo.
Never doubted him.
Yes, sir.
Not for 1 second.
It was exciting. It was exciting to see a fighter that I've seen as an amateur. For years I've been watching Teofimo, and it was just amazing to me. That whole fight, the whole process that
I remember when.
And he's got all the belts. It's like, what?
Any boxer to get in there with the best in the world, with Vasily Lomachenko, you gotta expect, to see what we've always seen. However, it's gratifying to see this young man with a young age, the confidence level, just the mental. Let's not talk about the boxing skills yet.
Right.
But the mental to go in there and perform the way he performed. And in my eyes, looking at the fight and watching him just wipe out the first 5 rounds.
Yeah.
It felt to me like Lomachenko was just waiting and not really pulling the trigger, not really even warming up.
Yeah.
And there was also a sense I kind of felt like if I jump in, he's gonna catch me, and he didn't want to get caught. So other than that, the performance was a great performance, and the champion started to gain ground mid in the fight and started to really turn it around. But I think it was just a little too late, Lopez just racked up too many rounds.
Yeah, like you said, the first, it didn't look like he even started. Teofimo had thrown 120 punches compared to like 20. The boxing punches. He it just literally was throwing.
It was hard to understand in the beginning because it's like it felt unnormal.
Yeah.
It wasn't the Loma that we know.
Right.
Come on, man. Look, man, I gotta be stupid if I'm not gonna sit here and not give Lomachenko credit for anything that man has done. That man is incredible.
Right.
That man has accomplished a lot of things in my eyes. He was definitely one of the pound for pound fighters in the world, with no question about it.
Absolutely.
However, it wasn't his night.
It wasn't his night.
It
And
wasn't his night.
after he not after, but a couple of days after he got surgery.
Yes, I saw that.
Yeah,
I saw that.
So
And
do you think it's a rematch kind of come?
well, all I can say, Steve, thinking about that and knowing, look, I'm not the boxer, but sometimes, folks gotta be a little more compassionate, man.
Yeah.
He's an athlete and he got hurt. It happens. It's part of life. Unfortunately, it stinks, man. It stinks that happened to him and he had to have a surgery done, which is gonna push him back
Yeah.
with some time to heal, and stuff like that. But thank God it was nothing worse, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Knowing how Lopez was violently knocking out people. I remember in the garden when he knocked the one kid out. It was violent. The kid fell right on his face. And it's like I said, it's a tough sport. So, I definitely wish the health of Lomachenko, man. I hope he gets healthy, and if he decides to come back and get back, let me tell you, man, there's names, man. Come on.
Yeah.
There's names. There's Tank Davis. There's Ryan Garcia. There's Devin Haney. There's names.
Right.
He can fight whoever he wants.
Yeah,
And then get to, prove himself a little more, which he's always done, and then get Teofimo Lopez at the right time. But, guy has a lot of mileage for a champion. He has a lot of mileage.
Yeah, he had that huge amateur career, 700-800 amateur fights or whatever. But I saw reports that he actually injured his shoulder before the fight, and he actually had to get some kind of injection. I don't know if it was a steroid kind of injection or whatever in his shoulder before the fight. And if your shoulder's injured like that, I mean, that's the same thing that happened with Pacquiao when he fought Mayweather. The same kind of injury. It really slows you down, and you don't realize it, but it really slows you down. Not only can you not punch as well with that hand, but it just, everything's connected, and your body just doesn't move the same. And he certainly wasn't the Matrix Lomachenko that we've seen in the past. And I think that may have had, the injury may have had something to do with that, or else it's the weight class. I think he's fighting too heavy. I think he should fight 10 pounds lighter,
Yeah, I want to, Matt, real quick, answer a question from boxing reporter Xavier Porter. He said a question in regards to Clarissa Shields on the list of possible champions for the NBA. Clarissa Shields to the NBA is the undisputed champion of the world. She holds the WBC, the IBO, the IBF, the Ring Magazine. She has the whole shebang. She has all the major belts. The reason why we didn't rank her is because we're not ranking the big champions. They have already accomplished the biggest dream ever in boxing. So the NBA, we're trying to establish for kind of the middle and the younger generation that's coming up that haven't reached that big goal. So that's kind of what we're doing in the direction we're headed. That's why we ranked the way we ranked. Some people are like, yeah, but this champion has the WBC, the WBO, and they're not in the NBA. Yeah, but this is why, because they already accomplished the biggest dreams, the biggest goals. So, we have had male fighters that in the past, before I had it, they had a couple of fighters that eventually they're ready to retire. They want to go out with a belt. We've seen that happen. We've seen fighters win a belt on their way out the door as kind of like I'm retiring on top, so to speak, and what have you. So are we going to position ourselves to do that kind of stuff? Again, it's all about dialogue and negotiation, and we want to try to make sure that we do things the right way, that we do it the correct way, that respects all the rules of the Muhammad Ali Act that is in place in the sport of boxing. So that's all we care about. You know, we want to make sure it goes the right way. So, you know, I'm hoping my boy I answered your question and stuff when it
No, for
comes to
sure,
that.
for
But
sure.
you know, big shout out to the champion. She's the undisputed, and you know, I guess the only tough thing about that is Shields is in the division that there's nobody. There's nobody. There's not really anybody, you know, and it's hard, you know. You know, I hope they make a fight. I hope Layla Ali comes out of retirement and fights her. Why?
Yeah.
Because it's boxing and because she can. You know, I hope Holly Holmes turns around and says, "You know what? I'm going to go back to boxing." You know, and fights Clarissa Shields. You know, people like that we know that can perform on the same level. You know,
Yeah.
so it's pretty, you know, it's pretty awesome for them, and um,
Just
that's again.
just let's go over. I know you have to leave us real soon. You know, I just put up on the screen the NBA female rankings. Let's you want to go over them?
The flyer.
Yeah, that's the flyer. We
Okay.
have a couple of our champions on there and stuff like that. I mean, again, you know, we're very happy for what we did, and I'm sure again we're learning as we're going along, and we're trying to do it the right way. We're trying our best, and everybody has a different style and way and how they do it. And there's not one specific way that everybody has to follow, and we're just trying to do our best to look at these younger generation fighters, the fighters that are fighting now that aren't again the big champions in the sport and what have you. And you know, I got a couple of texts and messages from a few of the ladies that have been rated with the NBA, and they were very thankful and what have you, and we're very pleased. We're very happy and fortunate to be able to be in a position to want to offer a title fight, a title belt. Just give me 1 second, stay there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, look how pretty, man. Look at that.
Nice. Now, do
Look
they
how
get
pretty.
all the women get that belt?
Absolutely right.
Okay.
This
so,
is the belt. It's the NBA belt. You know,
Wow.
it's the
So
NBA belt.
Maureen Shea, that belt is in her possession, or we're gonna get it to her?
Man, I'll tell you what, man. I will be totally delighted to and honored to do a fight, to sanction a fight for Maureen Shea. We've had our eyes on her for a while. We think she's an extremely talented fighter, and we would love to call her champion one day. So hopefully, you know, conversations with her and Derek and their team, and you know, hopefully we'll be able to work something out in the near future. You know,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Let's go.
She deserves a title again.
again,
Two-time
again,
world
yes.
But she does, man, because she's a great fighter and she's training. She's training her butt off every single day, and she definitely deserved a shot.
And I'll tell you, yeah. Listen, Matt, they're just fighters that are incredible. You know, there's so many in the amateur ranks. Off the top of my head, I just want to say two or three. You have Christina Cruz. You have Little Roxy from California, from LA. You have oh my God, there's so many of them. But again, just mentioning these young talents. Nicola Casio from Texas. She used to be from Tampa. You know, knowing these ladies are the next generation of the sport of boxing in the pros. It's exciting. It's humbling because we see them all growing and stuff like that, and it's great for the sport.
Absolutely.
So the NBA, we're looking, we're seeing, and we're hoping to be able to continue to do what we can to support all these fighters and do the best we can.
Yeah, well, you have a lot of South Florida fighters in there in your rankings. You have Logan Holler, who we know we had on the show a couple of weeks ago. I saw her train I saw her spar at Boca Pal. I actually cornered her for a couple of rounds.
Yes, Holler. Let me tell you, big shout out to her management, to Peter Khan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Peter Khan. I spent some time with him a few weeks ago in Kissimmee, Florida, with Alexander Zayas. really great guy, and of course Lou DiBella. You know,
Yep.
she's a great talent, great fighter. She'll be fighting in Orlando, right?
Yeah, I just saw the flyer
Yes,
out today.
the
She is
I
fighting
think
in
it's the
Orlando.
Undisputed Promotion show.
Yeah,
Yes, she'll be on that show, so that's very, very exciting.
yeah. And you
Oh
have
yeah.
Avril, Mathie also.
Yes, she fought in the Matchroom card, didn't she?
Yes, she did. She did.
Yes, the same night that Amanda Serrano fought.
Correct.
Yes, that's right. I remember her.
Yeah, she's a great. She's very athletic also, and I'd like to see her go places also. She's got an interesting background also. She's from Australia. She's also a swimsuit model, Miss. I don't know the name of her title. She had one of those bikini titles, or Miss Swimsuit, international something. Uh, she also plays other sports also. And she's a talented, nice girl. Um, so I'm glad you're doing this. It seems like a win-win for everyone. I I just want to ask you one thing. The other promotions like the WBC, did they encourage you, or do they see you as competition? The WBO, the WBA.
Well, I personally don't feel that at all from any of them, and I'm being honest with you. And I don't know if it's maybe all my years paying my dues in the sport and being able to establish friendships and relationships. It's a lot easier to work with people when you already know their reputation. You already know who they are and what they're
Yeah.
about. So I think that, to me, Matt, I think that had a lot to do with it. I think it had a lot to do with, a form of feeling comfortable, and they're very comfortable with who I am, because I'm not a person that I'm not gonna walk over their toes. I'm gonna stay in my lane and respect the fact that the other bodies do things their way. They have rules like we do, and I respect that in all sense of the word. I have no sense of thoughts of how they do their business, because that's how they do their business.
Yeah.
That's how they operate. That's how they work. But I respect them, and as a professional person in this sport that I love so much, I appreciate them, and that's something that I think, personally, it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I know you have to run, Damon. Last
Yes.
words. Last
Yes.
words.
Just thank you very much, guys, for having me on. Real quick, my shirt, Empire Pro Tape. Big shout out to my friends in London. Empire Pro Tape is one of the official sponsors of the Slip Punches show, and they're just awesome, awesome team. They support the fighters here in the U.S., and
Nice.
they're also doing big things in the U.K. So big shout out to them. And guys, listen, I always appreciate coming on the show and chopping it up with you. Hope
We
to be back
appreciate
soon.
you, Damon.
Yeah,
Thank you.
we love having you on. And did you say you were doing a show tonight also?
Yes. I'm
Who's
doing
the
a
guest on
show.
your show?
Kaylee Reese is coming on the show tonight. She'll be on.
Nice.
She'll be on at 8 o'clock. She will be fighting on Friday, next Friday, at the Florida Boxing Hall of Fame weekend, down here in St. Petersburg, Florida. She's fighting for a WBA title, a world title. Actually, she has a world title shot. So we're gonna get online and chop it up with her and talk to her briefly, because we know it's fight week, and we try to minimize our time with the fighter when they're real close to a fight. That's how the respects and stuff.
Yeah. Who's her opponent? Do you know who she's fighting for that title?
Yeah, I know she's fighting a girl. I believe she's from Australia, and her name is
It's not Avril.
it's Candy Wait. She's fighting Candy Wait. Candy Wait fights out of Australia. No, actually, I'm wrong. She's Canadian. She fights out of Canada.
Okay.
So that's her opponent. I think she's like 10-1 or something like that.
All right, great. Yeah, that's going to be. We should try and go up there, Steve. Cover that. the Hall of Fame event.
Hey guys, hey,
Listen,
just come
we were
on
there
down,
last
man.
year. We were
Come
there
down.
last year.
Come down, man. Come on.
We were there last year. It was a
Come
good
down. I'll
time.
be there. I'll be
Yeah.
there. I'll be working with the Hall of Fame team that weekend. So it'll be nice to have you guys come down.
Yeah, one of the other female fighters, Carissa Brown, is she's fighting there. She's trains with Lady Ram, Laura Ramsey. You know her?
Yes, Laura Ramsey. She's actually champion, ABO champion, from Texas, the ABO that I mentioned earlier in the interview.
Oh, is that the title she won in her final fight and her retirement?
That's the title
fight?
she won.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
The President Juan Coriel gave her an opportunity, and she fought for that belt. So yeah, it's awesome that she won that.
Yeah, I love the two of them. Big shout out to them. They're great. I met them in the amateurs one time, and man, they were the loudest people in there. They were the most enthusiastic. Big fans of them.
All right,
Damon.
Guys, thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
All right, take care.
All right, have a good
Bye-bye.
Take care,
have a
Damon.
good show. Bye-bye. So, Matt.
So that's it. That's a show. That's an
the
exciting new venture, an exciting new endeavor for our friend Damon.
Yes.
And also for for the female fighters who deserve it.
We just want to end the show, Matt. Just a little bit of upcoming events. One, Lex McMahon, the CEO of Titan, is fighting and making his MMA debut to support fighters and military veterans. He's fighting.
Right, and PTSD and
yes, and also we have a Bigfoot Silva fighting this Friday night. Believe it or not, he's coming to town. He's going to be in Orlando.
Right. Well, there's a lot coming up. I mean, this weekend, Saturday night, by itself is just going to be. I don't know what I'm going to watch. The only thing is, they better not come to my door trick or treating. I'm gonna have to put the candy outside with a sign saying "Do not disturb." Watching boxing.
It's a new MMA show that Silva's fighting in. It's called Tura, Taura, MMA, and this is their 11th event. And this is the first time they're going to be in the United States. So that's October 30th. Bigfoot Silva versus Big Dog. Co-main event, Monster versus Wilson. And it's at the Silver Spurs Arena. And, they got some nice show that's going to happen,
Right. There's a huge Showtime boxing card, obviously. Leo Santa Cruz and Tank Davis. You have my favorite fighter right now, the most exciting fighter, I think, is Inoue from Japan. He's fighting Jason Maloney. All right, Naoya Inoue.
Yeah.
Right. I think he's the most exciting fighter to watch right now. And no offense to anyone else, but that's just the way it is. That's my opinion.
And then they have November 7th. We have an event, double feature. Combat Quest Bloodsport. It's in Florida. It's from 12 to 4. It's actually an all day event. It's in Tampa. Vigilant Prospect. And also Saturday, December 19th, XFN 31, Flow Combat, back in action. And we also have...
Yeah, XFN, big shout out to Danny K, because that fight is actually going to be in my own backyard.
Well, there you go.
That's gonna be in Boynton Beach, right here, right down the road.
That's right. He's asking,
right down the road.
He's asking if you're going to go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Tell him.
Fighting News is going to be there.
Yeah, tell him any steak that he brings over to the house, I'll gladly throw on the barbecue. You know, bring a cooler, and whatever, man. We'll do it up here. All those guys can come over, even those goat shed guys.
Goat shed. And then we have
Yeah.
also Saturday, December 12th at 7 o'clock. Our co-host Mikey Feinberg is going to be doing an event with Armando Gonzalez for Rise.
Right. So where's Mike tonight? He didn't want to come up. He always likes talking boxing.
Mike went to go vote tonight, and he is probably still there because
right. So
after work.
Look, man. The city never sleeps. The show never stops. He's got to call up on his phone or whatever.
Shout out to everyone who watched the show tonight. Shout out to our new friends. Follow us. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at The Fighting News.
You didn't mention the biggest night that I can think of that we're going to go to, which is the Bare Knuckle BKFC. Man.
Oh, so Matt, thanks for reminding me. That was next on my list. So we have BKFC 1-4 in Miami at the Intercontinental Hotel. Yuli's fighting. Dat Be Dat is fighting. Jim Allers versus Baboon is fighting.
Yes. Plus, you got Jake Boswick.
Jake Boswick is fighting. Finally, I get to see this guy
debut
live. I mean, we've been watching him train.
You got Gary Grant, who's making his second appearance. That's going to be huge. In fact, we're on with him and his manager Monday night. Tune in. At 7. All right. He said he's got some guys that he wants to call out, some 135ers that he wants to call out. And, man, we're going to support that kid because he's doing well. And we love him. We've seen him since he was an amateur boxing.
What's up, Mike?
Out on that card. Lorenzo Hunt is fighting again. Man, Lorenzo's a monster. He's killing it in BKFC.
Lorenzo, who wants to fight that guy, man?
All right. Nobody. Not the way he's knocking out people. Woo! All right. Then again, Friday, November 20th, again, that fight night, Daytona Beach, Lank the King, Lank Promotions. That's the one that Floyd Mayweather is going to be making a guest appearance at, and Ava Knight again is the headliner there. So I think that's about it, man.
Wow, we got a lot of events, Matt. Let's get on the horn. Let's see what we can cover. Let's see where we're gonna be.
The Monday show, we got that Monday show coming up, and then on Saturday we're gonna have to get down to and see our friends Bostwick and training with Derek Santos.
Let's go. Is that set up? That's a done deal?
Those are our peeps. All I need is a time and location, and we'll be there. And that's going to be some good stuff right there.
There you go.
Right there. That's what we're going to be. But, man, Saturday night that's a killer night. Killer night for boxing. Absolutely.
All right. Well, you heard it here on the Fighting News. We're everywhere. Check us out. We had breaking news to break last month, and it hasn't been officially announced yet. So we don't know if the Fighting News was the breaker of the news. What's up, Mikey Mike?
All right, there's Mike.
Yeah, we broke news and it went viral. So, look out for Mayweather coming out of retirement news. It might still happen.
Well, look, he's going to be there on the 20th. Go stick a mic in his face.
Mike, hey, this is Steve from the Fighting News here with Floyd Mayweather. What's up, Floyd? You going to fight? You coming out of retirement? I got punched in the face. Yeah, I'm going out of retirement. Boom.
Somebody, this footage is going to end up on the cutting room floor. You know what I mean? We're out. It was good seeing you all tonight. Thank you for tuning in.
Shout out to Drama Alert for making our video go viral. Drama Alert.
Whoever they are.
YouTube sensation. Drama Alert.
Drama Alert. Drama.
All right.
What I need.
Thanks, fans. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. It's a wrap. Fighting News out. Follow us on all our stations: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Reddit.
Okay.
At the Fighting News.
Break it down, man. I'm going to go tune into Damon's show.